Good evening, everyone, and greetings once again from Seoul, South Korea. Last week's vlog did pretty well. I had about as many people watching it as I normally have reading my blog, so I said, okay, fine. I'll keep making these damn things. And with any luck, maybe I'll actually grow an audience of some kind. As of right now, I have 11 subscribers, which is 11 more than I had this time last week. So, whatever the hell is happening, I'm just going to keep on doing it. And anyway, let's see, where to get started with this shit. I said that I would keep you updated on my weight loss. Well, this week I haven't lost any additional weight, but I haven't gained anything either, so I'm going to take that as a plus. I've been exercising a lot. I've been running, and I've been going to jiu-jitsu. In fact, last week I went 3 times instead of just 2. And everyone that I talk to always says the same thing. They're like, well, you might just be like getting muscle mass. You might be developing muscle, and muscle weighs more than fat. So, if you don't see any change on the scale, it might just be that you've converted some fat to muscle. So, I'm assuming that's true because the people who've told me this, they seem pretty knowledgeable. And, it makes me feel better about the situation. So let's put it that way. I haven't lost any additional weight, but that's probably because I've gained muscle mass. Works for me. Now, next thing I was going to keep you updated on was my reading of Leo Tolstoy's War and Peace. As of this week, I have gotten through the introduction. That doesn't sound like much, but introductions in these kinds of things, are usually kind of a chore. I read the introduction written, who wrote this damn thing? By the translator, Rosemary Edmonds. And what she said in this particular translation is that War and Peace is it's one of these books where there's big historical events going on. There's like the Napoleonic Wars, and like there's Napoleon and Alexander, and they have their wars going on in Russia. But that the focus of the book isn't on them. The focus is on all the like little everyday things going on in the lives of like these Russian families while while the wars are going on. And I started thinking to myself, I was like, well, what does that sound like? And you know what it sounds like? It sounds like Gone with the Wind, okay? Because Gone with the Wind, okay, this is one of these books that, if you know the story and you think of Gone with the Wind, you think of Rhett and you think of Scarlet and you think of Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn and, all those things. But would you really call it a Civil War story? Not really. I mean, there's not like a lot of like Civil War like details in it. It's like all these people in the story happen to be living their lives at the time the Civil War is going on. So that's kind of, that's kind of the backdrop. That the war is not the main story. The way the characters are existing, while the war is going on is the story. Yeah, I'm interested to get into it. We'll see what happens, and I'll keep you updated. Oh yeah, let's see. Something I completely forgot to mention last time, I realized as I watched it back to myself, I gave all the details of my upcoming vacation, and then I said, yeah, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll send you a postcard from my travels. But I didn't tell you how to get in touch with me. So you can message me here on YouTube, obviously, or you can email me at hellogabriella@yahoo.com. So, drop me a message, say, hey, I subscribe to your shitty little channel, so, here's my address, please send me a postcard. And by the way, I know you're probably thinking, Jay, you still use a Yahoo account? What the hell? But no, I don't. It's just I'm not going to give out my, like, real email addresses to, anonymous people on the internet who are probably going to send me, like, links to crazy, like 2 girls, 1 cup kind of stuff. So you can all have the old Yahoo account. That's what you get. The biggest news of the week is that I have accepted a job in the Sultanate of Oman. Now, I know some of you are saying, Oman, what is that? Oman is actually a country, it's right next to Dubai. Some things happened. Long story short, I was supposed to move home and live with my sister for a year, but at the last minute she decided that she didn't want me to move in with her, and I thought I could get a job back with my school. It didn't work out that way. They'd already started hiring new teachers by the time all this came up, and so I had to look elsewhere. So I started digging around. Fortunately, I found an interview, and I have signed a contract. So in March, sometime the end of March, I will be moving over to Oman. So won't that be fun? It's going to be a new adventure. I'm leaving Korea, which makes me very sad, but time only moves in one direction. So off to new adventures. Oh, and the good news is that in Oman, the school that I'm going to, they actually allow you to have pets in the apartments that they provide. So I will be able to take kimchi with me. So that's good. Here's your trivia question for the day. Ladies, would you rather have been with Rhett or Ashley? Okay, I've asked this of several friends of mine. The best answer I ever got was from my friend Jack, short for Jacqueline. I asked her, I said, okay, so, Jack, you're a Southern girl. If you'd had to choose, would you have chosen Rhett or would you have chosen Ashley? And she said, oh, no, I would have chosen the two twins at the barbecue in the opening scene of the movie. Jack's a freak. So, anyway. Okay, do you remember earlier in this video when I said that I had just accepted a job in Oman? Yeah, that's not true. That's actually part of a very elaborate practical joke that I've been pulling off for the last 2.5 weeks. It is true that my sister pulled the rug out from underneath me and said that she didn't want me to live with her after saying that I could for several months, but I'm not actually going to the Middle East over it. The truth is, I was able to get my job back at my school, and yeah, so nothing's changed here. But the joke, you should really hear about this. Of course, I was pissed off when this thing with my sister first happened, so the first thing I did was I turned to my twin. I called Chrissy, and I was, pissed off about this, and I said, it's not cool. It's not really. I don't like the way this all happened, and this. So she said, well, you know what you should do. She said, you should tell her that she really messed everything up for you, and you can't get your job back, and now you have to look for a job in Afghanistan or something. And for the record, there's nothing wrong with finding a job in the Middle East. In fact, the highest paying English teacher jobs are all over there. But of course, my family's always been very leery of that because it has kind of a reputation for kind of political unrest, and things go wrong over there, and it's perceived as being more dangerous than Korea. Now, to understand the direction that this joke took, you'd have to understand that there are two ways that people get angry. And, some people really yell and they scream and they throw things around and they break stuff. And then other people just tend to kind of go quiet and freeze people out and disappear. I fall into the second category. I don't really have an explosive temper, so that if I'm not happy with a person or someone's really done me wrong, what I tend to do is to just kind of disappear, that I just kind of shut that person out and they never really hear from me again. And anyway, I knew it wouldn't be realistic for me to blow up at my sister about this. So instead, whenever I would talk to our mom, I would just say, well, this isn't cool the way this whole situation has happened, and you should know that I have to look for a job in the Middle East now. And I told her, of course, that I had an interview in Oman. And as time went on, the joke became more elaborate. And, I had an interview, and then I heard from the guy, and it turned out that it's they were considering me for the job, but I had to understand that, they really, really adhere to Sharia law, so I'd have to cover my head, and there'd be no bacon or anything like that. And my mom was just like, oh my God, just, not really sure how to respond to all this. So then in the middle of all this, I also threw in this thing where I said, I found out that Poost, which is the English language school in North Korea, I said, yeah, I found out Poost is actually looking for a couple of instructors. And that really sent her over the rail. And I know that everything that I'm saying to her is getting back to my sister. And my sister really started feeling guilty. So she starts messaging me oh my God, Leo, we can work this out. It's do you need to live here? Do you need to live here? And, she called me, look, I feel really bad and all this. And I was just being really, really just defeated. No, you don't have to do it like that. It's whatever happens. You couldn't pay me to live at your house now. So, there's no way. So, anyway, all this is going on. And of course, the big day came where the school in Oman, accepted me, and they thought I had a very good interview, and they sent me a contract, and I signed the contract. And we were getting ready, and then the icing on the cake. My mom and I have been fighting over kimchi for several years now, and I told her, I said, "Oh, the good news is that this school in Oman, they allow dogs." And she tries to be like all smart assy. She's like, "So?" But anyway, all this has been going on, and I know they've been like freaking out, and I know that my sister's all like tying herself in knots with guilt. But guess what? It was a joke, and yeah, that's pretty much the story there. So I'm not really going to Oman. I've still got my job in Korea. So rest easy. Merry Christmas, kids.